And a potential NFL Hall of Famer in town. We got to mention that as well.
A little bit of everything.
First week. Yeah, a great first night here, and as we get moving towards November, it's getting cold, but the rain is not here, and so when it's getting cold and the rain is not quite here, you think big football games. Tonight, a week where teams didn't want to look forward.
Right. Big games next week, but they're not as big if you don't win this week. And
exactly.
Teams are trying to do that.
Have to go in undefeated. That was the task that faced Easton and Liberty tonight. We start with Easton on the road, taking on the K-Kids in Northampton. The K-Kids, you know what? They almost won this game last year. They were fired up tonight, and then for the first play of the game, the air sucked right out of the stadium. Bernard Kuhn to Jared Holly. The diving grab for the first down, and so the Rovers are in business. Next play, who do you give it to? Ovid Goldborn, absolutely. Takes a few tacklers and gets rid of them. 35 yards he goes into the end zone to pay dirt. 7-0 Rovers, just the beginning of the night for Ovid Goldborn.
It's like Kurt Schilling quieting the crowd at Yankee Stadium.
Oh, that's enough out of you. Northampton going back to work. We're trying to get something going on defense. The next drive for Easton, they try to get the stop there, but instead Holly makes the touchdown grab, and you know what? Jared Holly has been a huge contributor for this team this year. He's one of those guys that you kind of factor in as the X factor. Second quarter, Bernard Kuhn back to the air. Why not? It's working. This one to John Swozo. He comes down just a few yards short of the end zone. That would set up the offense, and then a couple of plays later, give it back to Ovid. Pitch it to him, let him get him behind those big offensive linemen. That's an easy touchdown. And you know what? They are starting to put this thing away. 21-7 Easton at that point.
Somebody wasn't looking ahead to next week.
Absolutely not. They were pretty focused tonight. You know what? A few minutes later, more of the same. Ovid Goldborn, 4 yards for the score. This time, 28-7. Easton making a statement on the road in the first half. King and Queen, any comments?
They put a damper on the King and Queen.
Yeah, they really did. Third quarter, Northampton trying to get something going. Josh Herrickle picked off by Swozo. He returns at 12 yards for the touchdown. So now they have a defensive TD as well. 35-7 at that point. They would add a field goal tonight. And then, you know what? They line up for another field goal, and Bernard Kuhn is just going to keep this football. And he comes right into your kitchen. That's a nice touchdown for him and a big win for Easton. They certainly were not looking ahead tonight. 45-14, your final score. The Rovers doing exactly what everybody knew they had to do, going on the road and winning a game that would have been easy to overlook.
Exactly, and of course, next week they get Liberty, but would Liberty head into that game with that same undefeated mark?
That was the question.
They would have to play at Nazareth tonight to get it done, also on the road, and they would also not be looking to the future. Early in the game, Liberty defense putting on the show. That's Jason Kramer getting sacked by John Korpix. 7-yard loss. They would have to punt, and that was not a good idea. Brian Buss punts it, and Brandon Van Akkeren catches it, and he's going to take it 43 yards. And Liberty's first points of the night, they take the lead 7-0. 3rd and 4 for Nazareth, their next drive. From their own 48, Jason Kramer picked off by Andrew Lee, and he's going to take it 50 yards for another score. And just like that, 14-0, Liberty at the lead. That was the score at the half.
Pretty good defense.
We cut to the fourth quarter. Still the same score. Liberty 1st and 10 from the 47. Dan Persa is looking, and he's finding John Korpix. He picks up 34 down to the 34. He picks up a first down, and on the next play, they go to Lee, and he's going to get a big chunk of yards. Jumps through the line of scrimmage. He takes it down for another first down. Same drive, few plays later, Persa this time to Lee, another handoff. This time he takes it in, 13 yards for the score. It was 20-0. They planned to just kick the extra point, but a little bit of a botch there. Van Akkeren says, I don't care, I'll just kind of take it in. We'll get 2 points for it. That was your final, 22-0. Liberty gets the win, as does Easton, so that is going to set up the big one next week.
So, Coach, you look at two teams who certainly took care of business on the road tonight. You got to give credit to both coaches, Monsman and Schiffer. You got to give credit to some young kids who went out there and certainly looked focused in their football games tonight.
Well, people are going to be excited. It's Bethlehem and Easton, and they're both undefeated. That doesn't happen too much in the Valley. in the Valley, it's tough to go undefeated, at least for 6-7 games. And this is the first time we're going to have the matchup of two undefeated teams looking for the championship. You know, and I'll tell you what, the Holly kid, how many more times are you going to talk about him in the next 3 years? He's only a freshman.
I know.
He's a great one. He really is. And Liberty's quarterback just keeps getting better every week. It's going to be a great matchup. You better go early. I know it holds about 15,000, but you're going to have a tough time finding a seat, because I'll tell you what, there's an awful lot of people excited about this game, including us.
Yeah, we're thrilled about it. We can't wait for Week 9 and the undefeated matchup. You know what? We're going to talk more with Bob Stim as the night goes on. And if you want to ask him a question, you can do it as well. Email your questions to sports@wfmz.com, or if you go to the big ticket page of our website, you can find the Ask Bob Stim link there. You can email us a question. We'll get a couple of those on for you tonight later on. All right. There's another game tonight that had a little meaning for some people. This Emmaus team is better than a lot of Emmaus teams we've seen in the last couple of years.
They're good, and they have to keep winning, because right now on the district level, they're kind of just on the outside looking in that 4th spot. They got to keep winning. Hopefully somebody loses and they can kind of move up. So
yeah, with the way things changed this year, it's a little tougher to get in. So tonight a big one, and homecoming as well. So you know what you do. You send your Emmaus grad back to homecoming. You have to. Dave Lesko as Emmaus took on Whitehall.
It was kind of fitting they were playing the theme from Rocky when I came back to the alma mater tonight for homecoming. Emmaus welcomes its favorite son, me. I took a lap around the track for old time's sake, wore out a couple of pairs of Air Jordans walking on the cinders. Things changed a little bit, especially the record of the 2004 Green Hornets. Emmaus going green on green tonight. Jamie Germani, your resident superstar and all-time leading rusher, leading the LVC in rushing and scoring with 10 touchdowns, came into tonight's contest 1 yard short of 1,000 for the season. The Whitehall game, the annual Turkey Day clash when I went here, now just a stepping stone to 7-1. The Zephyrs would come out throwing. Mike Ganal gets picked off by his counterpart off the tip. Mike Brusco, 1st and 10 from the Whitehall 45. On Emmaus' second offensive play, Jamie would get his 1,000th, a pickup of 5 to the Zephyr 27. But the Green Hornets would leave empty-handed. The defense would keep Ganal on his toes, however. Cesar Natali, he makes a good pizza, and he's throwing the anchovies on number 18, a big loss of 11. Then 2 plays later, Ganal looking to pass, but he's a little slow getting it off, just enough time to let Brian Reese put a wrestling hold on him. And the Dominator gets a little turf in the mask, the sign of a true warrior. Whitehall would pick up a sack or 2 of their own in the first. Greg Harrigal makes Brusco pay for the early pick. And then early in the second, Kyle Himmelwright and Nate Glose converge on number 5 for a loss of 7. Whitehall would take over, and the Zephyrs were on the attack. Ganal is looking for Javon Martinez, and number 23 plays follow the bouncing ball, a 10-yard pickup to their own 44. That was just the start. 8 yards later, Ganal in trouble, dialing long distance for Nate Glose. A lot of interference, but can you hear me now? Number 8 with the reception to the Emmaus 2. Next play, Ganal takes it up the gut, those 2 yards for 6, and the 7-0 lead. Emmaus' next possession would be a short-lived one. First play from scrimmage, Brusco puts it up. Jimmy Potuchny, tough to say, but nice pick for number 6, killing the drive. The Zeffs couldn't take advantage, however. Late in the second now, Emmaus would put a drive together. Brusco hits Tyler Hirsch over the shoulder, a pickup of 28 to the Zephyr 12. They would get inside the 5 with 30 seconds to go, spike it twice on 4 downs, and settle for a Drew Reinhardt field goal, 7-3 at the half. I guess Coach Botts had a reason. Junior Tara King excited about the second half, but the guys needed to take a page from the field hockey team and get some offense. No scores in the third quarter, but the Green Hornets began a drive for Miss King. Germani with a pickup of 10 here in the fourth to the Zephyr 8. 2 plays later, like a Bulldog, he gets in for his 11th score of the season from the 2. The Green Hornets take the 10-7 lead. They weren't done. Later, 3rd and a couple, Mike Brusco gets the first and then some. How about 35 yards to the house, 17-7. Mike Ganal would look to stay in it late, but Tyler Hirsch puts this one to bed. Emmaus moves to 7-1, 17-7.
It feels great. Everybody's happy. It's a great team win. We're really starting to come together, and we can really feel it. I give a lot of credit to Whitehall, though. They always come in and give us a great, tough hard-fought game, but we kept going, and we were persistent, and we came out on top.
In the first half, we knew, we didn't play our best football, and we knew that the second half, to win this game, we had to play our best football, and we came out and every play, our line did a great job, our fullback did a great job, our receivers did a great job, defense did awesome.
At a happy homecoming in Emmaus, I'm Dave Lesko for the Big Ticket.
You know, you always feel good inside when you can send Dave back. He can take a lap around the track and inspire the troops at Emmaus.
And you know he did. I mean, everybody notices Dave around the track, and
the big camera helps
play
too.
well. They play well.
Even in the Air Jordans, that's always nice. Big win for Emmaus tonight, 17-7. Speaking of homecomings, it was a nice homecoming tonight for the 1979 team at Deeriff. More on that in a second.
Opportunity tonight to win 7.
And this is a program that's starting to improve. You know, you look at this thing and say, well, they finished 9-1 and miss a playoff spot, they're going to be disappointed. But hey, it's Emmaus, and they're 9-1. They're improving every year. The kids are believing in the system, and they've got a talented group, and they feel that even if they don't make the playoffs, it's been a successful season.
Obviously, for Coach Panny, he's excited about his team as well, despite coming off a loss.
The thing that's going to be tough for Whitehall tonight and Bob Panny's troops is how do you respond after 3 tough losses, especially last week. They want to come out, finish this season off, finish 6-4, and they want to start with a win tonight.
Let's talk about some key players, and we begin with the Whitehall Zephyrs, and it's their running back, Kyle Himmelwright. He's done a good job on the ground. He catches some balls through the air, but obviously for him, especially maybe setting the tone early, they may have to go to Kyle Himmelwright often.
The lone touchdown last week on that kickoff return, and they need to establish him to open up their passing game. Boy, last week they weren't able to do anything of the weather conditions, and they want to be able to do that again. Go back to those days against Central on that turf. Nice conditions tonight. Open it up. Himmelwright's got to be the guy.
Well, you talked about running. Deeriff a week ago against this Whitehall team on defense. They ran every play. Tonight, Emmaus has a great running back in Jamie Germani. He needs 1 yard for 1,000. Doug, I don't make that many predictions. I'm going to say he's going to get the 1 yard.
I think that's a safe bet. We hope we don't jinx him now, but this is a bread and butter team that likes to run the football between the tackles. Germani is that perfect prototypical back, just an undersized fullback. And I think after what Deeriff did last week against Whitehall, don't be surprised if Emmaus tries to do the same thing.
Whitehall trying to stop a 3-game losing streak. Emmaus trying to get their 7th win of the year and go 7-1 on the season as Whitehall takes on Emmaus next on 2 Sports.
You think about the roads people drive on, how each one is different. Then you build a family of cars that treats them all the same. The 2005 Volvos with electronically controlled all-wheel drive. For confidence on any road.
When you need a prescription filled, who do you turn to? Walters Pharmacy. Walters Pharmacy compounds prescriptions and takes filling prescriptions as their #1 priority. At Walters, you'll save time. Trust Walters Pharmacy for convenience with free, fast delivery in the city of Allentown. You can visit walterspharmacy.net and email the pharmacists with questions. Since 1937, Walters Pharmacy, making life easier through genuine care.
Allentown Business School means absolute success with degrees in medical, technology, business, design, and legal studies. You get the right skills from specialized training that can put you on the road to success in as little as 18 months.
ABS gives the students what they need to succeed. I would definitely recommend it to anybody that wants to get a career and get on their feet and get into the work world.
Not too many people can get up every morning and say to themselves, you know what, I'm only 23 and I have a career.
Call ABS today and discover absolute success tomorrow.
Welcome back to Emmaus High School. Emmaus, Pennsylvania, 6-1. Emmaus taking on the Zephyrs of Whitehall with a record of 3-4. And as we mentioned during the Open, that they're on a 3-game losing streak. And Allentown Mazda Volvo is tonight's sponsor of tonight's game, Brown Daub Volvo. And Doug, obviously when you look at tonight's game, it should be an interesting one, especially when we talk to both coaches. Setting the tone early is huge as you take a look at the Hornet. And I know one of our viewers on 2 Sports, Service Electric, is the grandmother of that Hornet. She watches each and every night, so we wish her a nice hello here from everyone here at 2 Sports. And more important Doug, as we get to this game. You know, the Hornets, they've been playing some good football as of late.
Yeah, and the thing that's interesting about this team is I think still the Lehigh Valley isn't quite sure what you're going to get from Emmaus because they've had so many close ball games, and they, you know, have they been tested yet this year? Are they legitimate at 6-1? And I think the beginning of this ball game, the first quarter for both teams, what we talked about Whitehall's been through over 3 weeks. Can Emmaus come out and establish something defensively? I think that's going to be very, very interesting and a key for both of these teams.
Emmaus won the toss. They defer to Whitehall as Drew Reinhardt, Kyle Himmelwright, and Javon Martinez back to receive, and it's going to be off of Himmelwright, and that one's loose and then finally picked up, and it's Martinez, and Martinez busts forward across the 30 up towards the 31-yard line. So, Doug, something there that the coaching staff for Whitehall did not want to see happen early is a turnover. They've seen enough of that in the past.
That's exactly right. That's what's been happening over the last couple of weeks, especially 2 weeks ago.
Take a look at the Zephyrs offense, sponsored by Apcar Oil. Mike Cannell, the quarterback. The running backs are Himmelwright and Martinez. Wide receivers are Williams, Patuchny. The tight end is Close. On the line, Smock, Long, Timmer, Harrigal, and Pissarro, your Apcar Oil starting lineups for tonight's game. We'll have the defense in a moment. Just underway from Emmaus High School. Glad you joined us on 2 Sports. Al DiCarlo alongside Doug Heater. And it'll be Ganal to pass, and he looks downfield as he airs this one up, has a receiver. That one incomplete. Was looking for Martinez on the far side of the field, and that one was covered by Greg Rutkowski.
Your Apgar Oil starting lineup for the defense for Emmaus. Reese, Natali, Hensinger, and Kozark, your defensive front four. Rutkowski, Martignetti, and Morrissey, your linebackers. Hirsch, Kester, DeBellis, and Briscoe in the secondary.
2nd down and 10. Tyler Williams lines up to the near side for the Zephyrs. This time they'll go to the ground. It'll be Himmelwright, sees nothing inside, tries to go outside, not much there, and he'll bring out a 3rd down and about an 8 or so, right around that range. And Doug, if you're Whitehall, you don't want to be put in the hole early. I know when we talked to the coaching staff, that's exactly what Coach Bob Panny said. He goes, we need to establish a running game and just an overall game to get back into it. Take a look at Rich Ruler calling some plays. I
think what's interesting about that is that you have a team that's 3-4 that doesn't have a shot at a playoff berth, the districts anyhow, maybe Eastern Conference or something at the end of the season, but they're going to probably bring just about everything at this Emmaus team tonight as far as the variety on offense.
3rd down and 7. Receiver split to the far side of the field. Ganal, here comes the rush, throws it in the middle of the field. That one's off the hands of Patuchny and taken by Brusco, and Brusco has the first INT as that went off. Again, Jimmy Patuchny, and this is exactly really where you didn't want it to happen if you're a Whitehall fan.
And it's been such a tough now 4 games for Mike Ganal, and he's going to throw this one over the middle. Good protection. Nice block by 61 Mike Long, but he's going to throw it a little bit too high over the head of Patuchny, and there's Brusco, the free safety, waiting for an interception. Ganal has had an awfully tough last couple weeks. He had an interception early in the game against Deerhoff. He had I believe it was I think 5 interception game, against a Central Catholic the week before that. So it's been a tough go for Ganal, and it'll be interesting to see if the Hornets now can take advantage of that early turnover.
Happens 1 minute and 6 seconds into the game. 10:54 on the clock. Our first look at Mike Briscoe and company, and Germani needs 1 yard for 1,000. Briscoe goes to the air, and that one is complete into the hands of Alex Hirsch, his 7th reception of the season. That ball is fumbled, and there's a good play there by Hirsch to get back on it.
Well, it's interesting to see what Emmaus is going to do against this team offensively tonight, that's for sure.
Take a look at Apcar Oil starting lineup for Emmaus. Briscoe, the quarterback, Germani and Rutkowski in the backfield. Hirsch, Tyler Hirsch, Alex Hirsch, the wide receivers, Andrew Morrissey, the tight end, Derek Hensinger, the right tackle, Shankweiler, the right guard, Smith, the center, Kowalski, the left guard, and Brian Reese, number 70, is your left tackle. 1st down pickup by Hirsch. And they hand it off to Germani. Germani gets the yard he needs. He's over 1,000 yards, and you knew he was going to get it. Doug, I told you he was going to get that.
Yeah, you guaranteed it. Take a look at our Apgar Oil starting lineup for the defense for the Whitehall Zephyrs tonight. Close, Harrigal, Klein, and Timmer, the front 4. Himmelwright, Colarusso, White, and Bowman, your linebackers, and Martinez, Artem, and Williams in the secondary.
So May's doing a good job on the ground. inside 9 minutes, 45 seconds to play, first quarter. After the turnover by the Zephyrs, the hands off to Patuchny, and it was back into Briscoe's hands. That is a little carry there by Germani, inside the 25, down to about the 24-yard line. Close to me, that chain's maybe a little bit short.
Interesting that Emmaus came out on first down, the first play from scrimmage for them tonight, and threw it to Alex Hurst to stretch the defense, because we expected to see Emmaus. Their bread and butter is that between the tackles, the off tackles, the dives, the blasts with Germani all season, and we would expect them to do the same thing tonight because of what Deeroff was able to do against this Whitehall front.
3rd down and 1 for Briscoe and company. And it's Germani. He sees the opening, gets across the 20, gets down to about the 17.5-yard line, and they'll move the chains again, their second first down.
See what Emmaus does. They put Brian Reese, big number 70, in the backfield. They run him to the left or to the right. There's 70 getting a good block. Reese and Germani. A lot of times you see teams do this. You know, Easton's been very popular doing it the last couple of years. They did it with Jason Groller last year. On 3rd down and short, 4th and short, 2nd and short, they tend to bring that full house back, and it's Reese, number 70, that joins them in the backfield.
1st down and 10 from about the 18. Again, they go to the ground. And I was talking to
Germani goes up the middle.
We talk about defense, and you know, Whitehall is going to come in. Mike Yadish, the defensive coordinator for the Zephyrs, and he said, you know, we're going to come in, we're going to try some things tonight. You know, with a 3-game losing streak, you know, your back's up against the wall, really, the way you've been playing. You know, this team's got to come out here jacked up. Emmaus, again, an opportunity to still make districts, and they got to win their games out first before anything else is possible.
And the climate tonight, the conditions tonight, much better suited for a Zephyr team that is quick and can take advantage of the ground conditions. Boy, last week, an awfully tough situation for them.
2nd down and 6. And nothing there at all. They're smothered in the backfield.
Germani tripped up in the
as Germani is taken down. On the right, one of the players in there for the Zephyrs.
Take a look at Germani. He's got the lead blocker, number 32. That is Rutkowski. But Jimmy Patuchny comes up, number 6, does a good job. Himmelwright fills the hole. That's what Mike Yadish was talking about, doing that. Now, not necessarily a blitz on a passing situation, but a run blitz, trying to get guys to fill those gaps. They need to take advantage, talking about Whitehall, need to take advantage of their speed in the secondary, and the linebackers in the secondary, trying to fill those gaps. You see, they've got their defensive line spread out wide. They want to try to fill those holes with their linebackers.
3rd down and 8. Briscoe has 3 receivers to the far side of the field, and he's going to take it himself, but nowhere to go. As again, here comes that defense coming in and making some plays. Mike Colarusso, one of the guys in there for the Zephyrs.
What Whitehall does is Russo's going to come in and fill a gap, and Chatelain, number 10. Himmelwright's going to break it down from his defensive end position, but there's Russo. They came up on a blitz, they showed blitz and came, and Briscoe had no chance to run that play. That's a good defensive series, good defensive stop for the Zephyrs now, but it looks like Emmaus is going to go on 4th down.
Fourth down and 9 for Emmaus. Germani, lone player in the backfield to the air. Briscoe goes in traffic, and that one almost intercepted. A couple players in there for Whitehall, including Ryan Bowman. So after the turnover, Emmaus moves the ball, but they can't convert.
Good job getting a little pressure, and Briscoe waits for his receiver to clear. But a nice job by Bowman laying back. Briscoe and Emmaus fortunate that one wasn't intercepted. Of course, on a 4th down play like that, it doesn't matter. That's why Briscoe forces one in, knowing that at the very least he gets an interception inside the 5-yard line.
Whitehall takes over, 1st down and 10. There's Martinez. He buzzed through. Martinez still running forward all the way up to about the 38-yard line.
This was one of the most successful plays a week ago in that muck and rain against Deeroff. It was the quick hitter to Martinez, who's lined up as a fullback. They take advantage of their speed. There's Martinez. It's that quick fullback dive. And if you're big like Emmaus is up front defensively, it doesn't get you a chance to get that penetration on the line. It's such a quick moving, such a quick hitting play. Whitehall, those were their most effective plays a week ago, and you see they're going back to that tonight.
5:33 on the clock in this one. First down and 10. The ball at the 39-yard line. Goodall the pass. Here comes the rush, and Goodall's going to be taken down on the play by Cesar Natale.
You'll probably go with the drawer screen here.
Natale with the sack.
Yeah, don't give too much.
Natale, the right defensive tackle, is going to get a good jump off the football. Reese coming from with some pressure from the outside. Nowhere for Goodall to go. And the secondary did a good job of covering that, but you can see that line having trouble again tonight with the size of this Emmaus front four.
All the way back to about the 28-yard line. Second down and 21, inside 5 to play. No score first quarter. Goodall again through the air, and that one is complete to the far side of the field. Williams with his 17th reception on the season came in with 201 yards.
Nice confidence builder here for Goodall and Whitehall, running that quick hitter to the wideout. Williams, Goodall's had such a tough last couple games, and any completions he gets starts to build the confidence level back up again.
Third down and 11, 4:10 on the clock. Nice crowd, homecoming crowd here for Emmaus. Goodall was looking to throw, and then he gets taken down hard on the play by Reese. Big Brian Reese comes in, checks in at 6'1", 270.
Well, Anthony Pissarro, number 77, is the left tackle, and he's going to have a busy day. There comes Reese, and now they leave Martinez in on Reese, and that obviously is something the coaches are going to look at. There's no way you're going to block Big Brian Reese, who's right around 270 with Martinez, a running back. See, Reese comes in, takes on the block, and hits Goodall clean. No time to throw.
Out to punt this ball away is Nate Close. And taken there by Tyler Hirsch. Hirsch gets clocked up about the 43-yard line, Doug, and that was definitely a big hit coming in toward Tyler Hirsch. Hirsch, 5'8", 179 pounds.
Well, it's Graham Waterhouse that makes the shot. Here comes Hirsch coming through. Watch Waterhouse. Ooh, bang, right on there.
Helmet to helmet.
That was helmet to helmet, and that's the. I don't think he meant to do it. He came in into that pile, but that looked awfully dangerous. I think both players were a little slow to get up after that contact.
So Emmaus will start once again, first down and 10 from their own 43-yard line. 3:17 on the clock. Quick moving first quarter here from Emmaus, and a nice crowd on hand. We expected this to be a good contest and a dogfight all the way through. Take a look at Bob Panny and his coaching staff. 3:17 on the clock. Two receivers lined up to the near side. Brusco will go to the air. Has all the time in the world, looks across, and has his receiver incomplete as it goes off the hand of Tyler Hirsch, and that one ended up almost being intercepted as well, as Patuchny seems to be everywhere every time we see him playing football.
And a good job by this Zephyr defense. They didn't bite on the play action. They dropped about 8 back in the coverage. And a nice job by Brusco to find Tyler Hirsch open underneath. He's going to want to have that one back. They did a good job, did Emmaus, of running that pattern. Found an opening in that deep zone. And just the ball wasn't caught by Hirsch.
He went to Germani the first series after they got the ball, and haven't got to the ground here. Second down and 10. 3:11 on the clock. Two receivers lined up to the near side. Germani alone setback in the backfield up about his 38-yard line. It's Brusco. Looks right down the middle of the field. Has number 3 in front, Tyler Hirsch. But just overthrown Patuchny on the coverage.
Now,
don't
don't be surprised if you see Emmaus go back to that. First of all, way too much time for Brusco. He waits for Hirsch to clear, running that post pattern. And you can see those guys are going to go back to that again because Hirsch had Patuchny beat. He had him open, did Brusco. He's going to want that one back. Great job by that offensive line with great pass protection.
They'll bring up a third down and 10 with 3:03 on the clock. Compared to when it was last week, when neither teams anywhere across the Lehigh Valley really were effective to throw in the downpour. They're going to the air tonight. We expect it. Here comes a rush on Briscoe. He turns around right into the rush of Greg Harrigal.
Whitehall trying to confuse Briscoe with their coverages. They show blitz and back up. Harrigal, I mean, he just kind of falls into this sack. He's down on the ground, you see, and then Briscoe just turns into him. That's one of the easiest sacks you're going to make, making it from your side, laying on the turf. But a good job by Whitehall on that series to confuse Briscoe and show him different looks defensively.
Now 4th down, they're going to have to punt the ball away. 4th and 23 with 2:26 on the clock. Waiting back is Javon Martinez. Martinez standing at his own 30-yard line. It is the first flag of the game. And check that back for Whitehall is Travis Artem. We'll wait for the call.
It's going to be against Emmaus. They lined up offside.
Illegal procedure, 6 men on the line on the punting team. Those 2 guys got to come up.
Yeah, not enough guys on the line. If we see that again, the slot receiver on that return, or on the setup, the gunners at the end, the slot guy wasn't up to the line. You got to check with the official. You have to check with the linesman, and he didn't do it. But Whitehall's going to decline it. They'll take the field position where they've got it.
Hope you're enjoying our coverage tonight on 2 Sports. 2:09 on the clock. The Zephyrs with the football on their own 45-yard line. Receiver split to the far side. They'll go to Himmelwright on the ground, and nothing there in the middle of the field for Kyle Himmelwright.
This was something that Whitehall struggled with a week ago, and I'm talking about gaining about 1 or 2 yards on 1st down on the run. And you saw in the first series, they opened it up with a pass in the first play, trying to stretch the defense. But this Whitehall team is successful if they can keep the defense guessing. Establish 4 to 5 yards on 1st down, open things up a little bit. You got a lot of talent with Patuchny, Himmelwright, and Martinez. Not going to happen if you gain only 1 or 2 on 1st down.
Back to the ground and back to number 7. Again, nothing there at all. They get about maybe a half a yard. That's Himmelwright.
Another dive play. I tell you, this Whitehall unit talked about how good the Deera front 4 was on, or the front 5 on the offensive line and the front 4 defensively last week. A very physical team. And Emmaus feels they can stand toe-to-toe with just about anybody, and they feel that they can take advantage of their size and strength, just like Deera did a week ago on both sides of the line.
3rd down and about 7. The ball at the 47. Doug, as the clock moves, and neither team really has, aside of the interception, has really moved the ball effectively. All the time in the world, Goodall goes to the air, one-on-one coverage downfield, incomplete. He was looking for close.
Nice job by Tyler Hirsch, in great position to knock that one away. But you can see the arm strength there at Goodall, and he's not afraid to lay it in there. A good job by the defense and Hirsch. And it feels like, Al, looks like that both teams very tentative here in this first quarter, feeling each other out. You know, there's a lot at stake in this game for Emmaus, and Whitehall wants to come out big. Both teams very tentative, playing a little cat and mouse and seeing if they catch one of the teams a little bit, sleeping a little bit, and see if they can maybe force a turnover.
Close, will have to punt the ball away. 4th down and 7. He gets a good roll, and then gets into the hands of Hirsch. Hirsch gets a block, moves up forward, and gives him good field position with about 36 seconds on the clock.
See both teams doing this back and forth, trading punts, trying to feel each other out, see if they're testing all the angles. They're testing the perimeter of the defense. They're passing the ball. They're stretching things. They're testing the middle. Both squads are. It's a feeling out process, and if you don't make a mistake turning the ball over, you got a chance. Both Emmaus, this has been their season. They haven't really hammered anybody all season, and they're content with that. They're doing the best they can to win ball games, and so far they've won 6 of them. But this is their game. Stay in it, and somehow in the 4th quarter find a way to win the game.
1st down and 10. The ball marked at about the 35-yard line. That's where Emmaus will start things off, and they will go to Germani, or they will go to the ground at least on the carry. Mike Kalo, the 6 foot, 180-pound sophomore. Take a look at our Kraus Dodge trivia question for tonight. When is the last time an Emmaus football team has posted 7 or more wins in the season? The last time an Emmaus football team has posted 7 or more wins in a season. Our Kraus Dodge trivia question for tonight. I want to thank Dennis Ramella, the athletic director here at Emmaus. He gave us some information, tidbits about the background and all that. And we'll get that shortly. This is likely to be the last play. If they even get it off, they won't. The horn sounds to end quarter number 1. No score. Emmaus taking on Whitehall. Back after this on 2 Sports.
Congratulations.
Winning takes more than the athlete, more than the coaches, more than the pain and sweat from grueling training.
It takes more to orchestrate the win.
It takes a dedicated team. Bethlehem Sporting Goods and Russell Athletic are that dedicated team. Suit up with Bethlehem Sporting Goods and Russell Athletic. Bethlehem Sporting Goods, your Russell Athletic team headquarters.
Welcome back. Whitehall taking on Emmaus. And this one, as we get ready for the second quarter of play, and prior to the game, we talked to both coaches, Doug, about their keys to the game.
Well, for Emmaus, when you look at what they want to do and what they've been able to do, is they haven't given up the big play, and they've controlled the ball. And that's the 2 things they want to do. And their special teams, getting the extra points, making those things work. For Whitehall, stopping Germani right now is going to be the most important thing that they do in this ball game.
2nd down and 8 for Briscoe. He goes to the air, and he has a receiver, and he comes right back to it. That's Tyler Hirsch with the big reception and gets down to about the 20-yard line. Huge pickup from Briscoe to Hirsch.
You know, we talked about them running the post earlier and Hirsch beating Patucci. This time, he runs down the sideline. Briscoe, you can see him looking that way. He's got Martinez. Now, this ball's a little bit underthrown and allows Hirsch to come back to the football. Does a great job, the receiver, at coming back to the ball. And then that's a nice pickup. And I talked about teams, that what Emmaus is doing. They're running off tackle, they're running the blast, they're running the dive, but they're trying to stretch a little bit. They know that that passing game is going to work for them tonight.
Ball down to about the 24-yard line is Germani. He scampers through inside the 20, down to about the 17-yard line.
You can see now out too with Emmaus with that pass stretching out the defense. That's a nice gain on 1st down.
High school football on TV2 Sports, brought to you by AV Doors and Windows, Allentown Business School, Apcar Oil, Kleckner & Sons Appliances, Kraus Dodge, Lanton Metro, Nazareth Music Center, R&J Carpet Connection, and Yakos are sponsors of 2 Sports Football here on Friday night.
I'm going to be watching on TV.
2nd down and 5, the ball inside the 20, down to about the 18.5 or so. A lot of movement on both sides of the ball. Briscoe was looking, and here comes a rush, and he gets smothered, fumbles the ball away, and the Zephyrs come up with it. So a turnover apiece.
I don't know. They got it back, Al.
Pop back.
They got it.
Somehow.
Whitehall had it. I'm surprised they didn't blow that one dead. Somebody for the Zephyrs had this ball on the ground.
I thought it was Ryan Bowman, number 20. Had it and was standing up with it, and then they got hit again.
Hey, will Hugh and Himmelwright knock it loose?
It looks like it's going to be Chadley Hugh, actually.
And we're going to take a look here, because it looks like they have it. Gloss and Himmelwright are going to get the pressure.
No, it is 20.
And Bowman's going to have it, and LaHue, but right there's where he loses it. They're still battling for it. Nobody blows it dead, and Emmaus battles back and gets it.
Yeah, Bowman and LaHue had their hands on it. Instead, 3rd down and 9. Briscoe doesn't like what he sees defensively. He calls a timeout. First timeout by the Emmaus Green Hornets.
Well, Emmaus dodged a bullet for sure on that one. That was a nice hit by Himmelwright and Gloss on that play.
And no question about that. Take a look at our standings currently in the Lehigh Valley Conference, Doug. And obviously, you know, as we get into the thick of things, only 3 games left in the regular season. 2 teams heading into tonight still unbeaten.
Liberty and Easton, they meet a week from tonight. Becca doing a good job at 4-1 and 4-3. Bethlehem Catholic actually still has a very good chance of qualifying for the postseason in 3A in the district. There's Emmaus at 4-1 and 6-1. And again, we talked about what they can do as far as a postseason berth. It's not out of reach. And Whitehall, you talk to the coaching staff and the kids at 3-4. They don't believe that they're a legitimate 3-4 team. They feel that they should have had a couple of those losses back as wins a few weeks ago. So that's why they come out fired up, and that's why they're giving Emmaus a great ball game tonight.
You saw it, Deer up at 1-4. We'll talk about the Huskies in a second. They're taking on Parkland tonight. We'll talk about that after this play. 3rd down and 9 for Briscoe after the timeout. Here comes the rush, and just has to flare it out, and that one's incomplete. Was looking in the direction of Rutkowski. And Doug, talking to both coaches here, Joe Baudelaire and also Bob Panny, they both feel that the Deer Huskies offensive line is the toughest and biggest offensive line out of any team they've either faced.
Oh, you're right, Al. We take a look at this one. Harrigal dumping that one off. Good pressure by Harrigal, but you're right. This is a Deer team that even you and I said, how can they have not had a win going into that game last week? And a lot of the coaches feel around the whole conference that games go a little bit different for that Husky team, and they're 5-2 as opposed to 1-6 right now.
4th down and 9. Another timeout by Briscoe. So 2 timeouts in this drive alone and 2 consecutive plays, and they'll take it here. 4th down and 9. And Doug, as we're talking about the Deer Huskies, Tom Mykrantz, I know, is out there tonight, and he'll have in-depth coverage of that game Monday night on Lehigh Valley Sports Team, which is seen each and every night on 2 Sports at 6 and 9 o'clock. There will be a lot of football coming your way, and also we'll have Emmaus field hockey. They'll be going down to East Regional in Voorhees, New Jersey, and we'll have a recap of that game. That's number 1 and number 6 in the country squaring off against one another. That will take place on Saturday. We'll have coverage of that as well. Monday night on Lehigh Valley Sports Scene on 2 Sports, 6 and 9:30. A new place to be, no question. Take a look at the current up-to-date district standings to this point. And Doug, obviously very crucial here when you look at them.
Well, there's what we're looking at. In Wyoming Valley West, that's the team out of District 2 that's guaranteed. They're going to be in, even though Emmaus has the same points as them. But when you take a look at Easton and Liberty, now one of those is going to have a loss coming next week. East Stroudsburg South has 2 tough games coming up, tonight against Pleasant Valley, and they have another one against Hazleton. But Emmaus has a chance to sneak in there if they keep playing well. And I believe those are of the 4 that are in, Emmaus is the only one on the outside looking in right now, but they've got a shot.
4th down and 9. Briscoe after the 2 timeouts flares it out. There's Rutkowski again, and that one gets barreled forward. We take a look at big number 32.
Pass complete to Rutkowski. Tripped up by him.
They run the screen again to Rutkowski. Brian Reese gets a good block up front, knocking out. Here he comes. He makes the seal block and then comes out on the screen play. Good job off of Bowman, clearing number 20 out of the way, but just a little bit short to get that 1st down.
So you've seen a couple 4th down conversions not converted. 10-14, 2 timeouts in that drive for the Green Hornets. Back to the Whitehall Zephyrs and Ganal. Ganal steps back, throws. That's complete to Glos. Glos trying to get forward towards the 30-yard line. Gets stopped about the 27.
That's a nice gain by Whitehall, spreading it out, running that one to Glos. They looked for Nate Glos deep down the far sideline in the 1st quarter, and it was defensed well by Hirsch. So now you tested him deep. You've tested Tyler Hirsch deep, so now you're going to try to go underneath against him and see if he starts pinching in and then hit him deep again. Good job by Whitehall, gaining 7 yards on 1st down.
At the 27, they go trips to the far side. One receiver lined up to the near side, and they'll go to the ground as Martinez, and Martinez going absolutely nowhere as he gets taken down in the play. A couple players in there, including Nicholas Martinetti.
What Whitehall tries to do here is run that trips package to the far side, the long side of the field, because the ball's on this near side hash, and try to get Emmaus to believe it's going to be a passing situation. And then they run the play the opposite way. They run it to the offense's right. Martinetti and the rest of that defense did a good job of staying at home and not biting on that formation and staying in their base defense.
I was looking at it too.
Whitehall takes their 1st timeout, and it'll be with 3rd down and 1 at 8:54 on the clock here. A second quarter, no score in this one. Take a look at the upcoming schedule and really the schedule and the results for the Whitehall Zephyrs, and they began with a tough game against Berwick. And Doug, of course, Berwick is Berwick this year, back to where they were years ago.
Berwick right now in the lead in the District 11 and District 2 3A rankings, but big wins against East Stroudsburg, North Nazareth, and Freedom, and then it's very tough losses. That one to Bethlehem Catholic, 35-28, 34-27, and a wild game against Central Catholic. And then last week, this was a team a few weeks ago looking good and looking at their postseason playoff aspirations, and they've gone away with the 3 losses, but they still believe that they can do some damage, run the table, and at this point you want to improve on a season ago. This is a team that finished 4-6. They'd love to finish 6-4.
No question about that. You know, 3 straight losses, try to get 3 straight wins to finish this season. 8:54 on the clock, second quarter, no score. Emmaus taking on Whitehall. Hope you're enjoying our coverage on Friday Night Football. Huge crowd on hand, and Doug, the Emmaus program, you know, is 6-1. They're bringing back a lot of people now. 3rd down and 1, and it'll be the sneak through and powered forward. The feet still moving, and depending on where the spot, it looks like they will move the chains. From there, it looks like they'll move the chains as well, and they will.
And they got the first down. Very tough to stop that play, that quarterback sneak. Again, Whitehall coming out in a look offensively on 3rd down, not showing the sneak. They didn't come out in a jumbo package, and they're able to take advantage of that. Matt Timmer, the center, doing a good job of just getting a snap and getting a good block.
Whitehall coming off a loss, 21-7 to Dura. Emmaus beating Allen by the score of 12-6. They'll go to the ground. Here's Himmelreich. He gets tripped up in the backfield and didn't really have the opportunity of making something happen there. Morrissey on the tackle as he tripped him.
Yeah, nice job.
5'9", 210. Sorry.
Nice job too by Brian Reese, number 70, defensive end. And he comes to the near side. Watch number 70 get underneath the block, that trap, and he's going to just trip him up. And Morrissey as well, number 35, coming around. Good job, good penetration by the line, and Morrissey, the linebacker, coming in. Again, they're moving the linemen around, trying to get those gaps, trying to get the matchups that they like.
2nd down and 7:45 on the clock. Receiver split to the far side. Goodall again going to go to the air. Looks across, and as Martinez gets it off the tip, and he'll move the chains. Once again, that is right on the marker. It looks like they'll move the chains here. And Martinez in the right position at the right time. So 2 first downs here in this drive by the Zephyrs.
Yeah, and we talked about the arm strength of Goodall and what he can do. Nice little touch here, and he gets just enough, just over the outstretched fingers to get it in there. Drops it underneath. Rudkowski got a piece of it. Good concentration by Martinez to not lose sight of that football. Watch the tip, and then he's in the right spot. Nice one-handed catch. Good job of holding it on at the end.
First down and 10 from the 44. They'll fake it, and then they'll go to Himmelreich. He busts outside. Himmelreich can make a turn, and blocked by Patuchny. But Patuchny couldn't get in front of Tyler Hirsch, or else there could have been off and running there, Doug.
Nice fake. We talked about the dive play to Martinez earlier and how effective it was a week ago. And this time they got Emmaus to bite on that fake, and then they run the counter the other way, and they run Himmelreich to the left. There's a little fake, and then Himmelreich the opposite direction, breaks a tackle. But a good job by Hirsch in the secondary to fight off that Patuchny block. Otherwise, Himmelreich probably goes for 30, maybe even more on that play.
2nd down and a long one to the ground. And, oh, check that. Goodall to throw. He had knee deked out. He's still looking. I don't know if anyone knew that was developing. He just airs this one up. Close is down there, and that one is... Was that caught or not?
Yeah.
It was caught downfield.
Close got it.
There's 2 players there, and also into the mix is Tyler Williams, and Close comes up with the reception.
Well, Goodall is going to get good protection, and he's just going to drill this one downfield. Good elusiveness by Goodall. 2 times he makes Reese miss, and he just throws it deep down the field. And watch Glose outfight the defenders for that one. Gets right through, and there's Glose showing the football to the official.
On the first possession after that big play, Ganal goes in for the touchdown, so the Zephyrs on the scoreboard first.
Well, since the Central Catholic game, it didn't happen last week, although they did have a Himmel right kickoff return, but Whitehall's had trouble with those big plays offensively. It hasn't happened in a couple weeks, and Ganal's throw, great play by Glos, and then Ganal from a yard out.
Point after by Dan Sirocco, and it's 7-0.
Extra point is good by number 67, Sirocco.
Extra point brought to you by Allentown Mazda Volvo. Brown Dobb Volvo. 7-0 is your score with 5:56 on the clock, Doug.
I talked earlier about the teams battling back and forth and feeling each other out, and that's a good job by Whitehall to take advantage of one big play. They did a nice job on that drive of converting a couple long third down situations, but the long play to Glos sets up this sneak by Ganal. I talked about this earlier, how they converted a third down and one. Timer, the center, Ganal's going to go off right tackle that time. The right side is going to go behind Long, and he's going to go behind Smock. Awfully tough to stop him. And a good job by Whitehall. Even though this is late in the second quarter, they're the first ones to score, so they were able to get on top of Emmaus early. All that battling back and forth has given Whitehall a 7-0 lead.
Nate Glos coming into the game has a couple of passes tonight, had 21 receptions, and obviously a concern of all defensive coordinators out there.
He has been, and he's been quiet the last couple of weeks, especially last week, and the weather was such a big concern and a big reason why. But you know what he can do. He had a great game against Central, and that's what Whitehall wants to do. They love the fact that they've got much better playing conditions tonight.
Sirocco goes to the ground. That one goes off of Emmaus, and then they come up with it. And they're good field position still here for the Green Hornets with 5:52 on the clock, Doug. They get the ball back here. Again, they've had a couple times in fourth down. They went for it. They didn't get it. Obviously in a position of the field where they can go for it, you know, 4-down territory. They're still trying to get their offense going.
And they had a nice drive working before they turned the ball over on downs to Whitehall. But remember, they had the fumble. Briscoe fumbled on the Himmel right hit, and then they got it back. That play set them up into a third and deep. And then they came up a little bit short on fourth down, but this is a patient Emmaus team. They're lulling you to sleep. Wait for them to hit you big, whether it's this series or later on in this ball game.
5:52 on the clock. First down and 10 from about the 38-yard line. Briscoe will air this one out and has a receiver, and he's looking that way, and there's Patuchny. Goes up and picks it off. Jimmy Patuchny with the INT. We've seen him do this in the past, Doug. I know you and I have done a couple Whitehall games, and the one game he had was really not even just staring at a ball, bouncing off a defender. It makes him a big interception there.
What Emmaus does, they line up Alex Hirsch, number 7, in the slot and try to hide him. He runs right down the middle, trying to split this defense. But Patuchny, who is your free safety, comes up and makes a great defensive play. He's been all over the place on the defensive side of the ball this season for Whitehall. Once again comes up and makes a big play. Good job by Briscoe to test it, but Patuchny just in the right spot, waiting back for the right time, and he makes a big interception.
So Whitehall will take over now from the 34, 5:45 on the clock and all. He's liking his sidelines, and he's going that way and looking towards Glos, covered by Hirsch, and that one out of bounds.
The thing is, even though Whitehall did get a big play offensively, in a sense that was a Hail Mary pass that Ganal did throw, just not the time didn't dictate that the name of that play. But Emmaus has done a good job defensively on the receivers, on Martinez, on Himmelred, on Patuchny, and on Glos, with the Hirsch brothers and the guys in the secondary. So for Whitehall to establish something offensively, I still think they need to get that running game. But again, good job by the coordinators to test this defense with a pass on first down.
Second down and 10, 5:38. Patuchny lined up with Tyler Williams to the near side of the field. And here's Ganal. He's going to go off and run with it. Not much to go. And he tries to make the turn. He gets dragged down on the play. And it's Rakowski, the 6'1", 200-pound linebacker, with another stop.
Brian Reese gets pressure again, coming off the middle. He's going to force Ganal out of the pocket, and at this point, he's just trying to run for some yardage. Good job by Rakowski to stay in front. A little stiff arm by Ganal, but Rakowski will not be denied. grabs the back of those shoulder pads and pulls him down.
Doug, while it's still early and we're in the second quarter, this is a huge possession, not only for the offense, but for the defense as well. With 5 minutes, I know Whitehall has the 2 timeouts, and Mays has just 1. You know, you go in, you score, it's 14-0. You know, the other way, you can turn the ball over and go the other way. So much time left to go. Reese going after Ganal. Ganal holding his own, now puts it up. And complete.
I tell you what they're doing with Reese. Now, we've seen them move around. He was on the right side of the defensive end position, came to the left. They've got him over the football now, and they need, Whitehall's got to find somebody that can block number 70.
Kraus, trivia question and answer. When's the last time the Mays football team posted 7 or more wins in the season? Well, 1986, Joe Ortelli was the head coach. There were 7-4-1, and Doug, you know, when you look at that, you look at the Mays program, they had 9 wins, is the most they've had as well.
I guess the last time, they're looking for 9 this year. The last time they had 9 was back in '86. But when we talked to Dennis Ramel and we looked at some of the numbers,
Dead ball, false start, offense.
1983 was when they were 9-3. But he said they've had 27 winning seasons in their 76-year history, but only 8 in the last 40. And that's what I talked about in the open, about how that here this team, they're looking at 9-1, and they're going to be disappointed that the fans are, the coaches are, at not making a playoff spot, possibly. But boy, what an improvement. 9-1, a tough Emmaus program, and that's going to breed nothing but success as the years continue to go on.
Again, to get to 9-1, first they had to get through Whitehall, and they're down in this one. Has Close punts this one away in a very high pump, good kick. And it's picked up there once again by Hirsch. Hirsch stops and tries to go the other way, nothing there. So Emmaus will get the ball back with about 4:30 on the clock. Second quarter. Still looking for their 4 points of the game. They struggled a week ago, and didn't, Doug, but, you know, for points. You know, in that, what do you call it, muck and mire. Yep. You know, I never knew what that word meant, you know, muck and mire, when we were doing, which, and I'm learning a little verbiage now, you know, muck and mire, you know. I didn't know what that was, you know.
Well,
take a look at the Green Hornets.
Take a look at what they got left. And you know, you and I talked to Joe Baudelaire. The tough thing is for Emmaus, and why they may fall short, is their remaining 3 games. First of all, 3 tough opponents, Whitehall, Parkland, and Central. But the sandwich games, the bread, Whitehall and Central, are 3A teams. So you lose those 20 points that you would get if you were playing a 4A opponent from your victories.
I was bringing up muck and mire because John McAvick, who does soccer with me, first introduced me that phrase a while back, and I didn't know what it was. And got the dictionary, and there it was, mire.
Well, mire, a form of quagmire, another form of that. You should have known that.
Doug's a dictionary now.
Yes.
Always counted Doug to bring out that dictionary. What is that? A big thesaurus you got there? What is it? You got Webster's? 4:03 on the clock, 2nd down and 2 from about the 41-yard line. Here comes the rush. Germani gets a carry. Haven't called his name that much, Doug. You know, we said he needed a yard for the 1,000. He also needs 1 touchdown for the school record, tie the school record. He has 33 now, looking for his 34th.
Trap play run by Emmaus. Pulling guard in that case is Cortland Shankweiler, number 50. Does a good job. Well, you mentioned the key defensive series for Emmaus. They got the job done. They made the stop, got the ball back, good field position. But now with this offense, they need to move the ball down the field and put points up on the scoreboard.
From the 45-yard line, 1st down and 10, 3:24 on the clock. Trips to the near side. Briscoe off and running right through the gut, inside the 50, down to about the 47-yard line. Nice run, nice pick up there by Mike Briscoe.
Designed quarterback draw on this play, trying to take advantage of the over pursuit of the defense. And here you can see good pressure by the Whitehall line. Pissarro's going to come in there and finish him off. But what you're trying to do is take advantage of that, the over pursuit or the aggressiveness of that defensive front.
2nd down and long 2, inside 3 to play. They'll go back to the ground, and Germani gets the 1st down. They'll move the chains inside the 45 down to about the 44.5.
Germani brought down by
1 timeout remaining for Emmaus. They'll stop the clock here as they move the chains, or will they? No indication yet. Finally, there's the indication. I can see from here, though.
Yes, you can. There's another a great block there on Harrigal, number 60, to clear him out of the way. But this is what Emmaus likes to do. They opened it up with a pass. You open it up with a Brusco quarterback draw. You open up with a quick hitter to Germani. The line is starting to fire off the ball. They're starting to move Whitehall off the football, and they're gaining substantial yards on first down. That's what they want to do, 6 and 7 yards.
From the 45, Brusco has time, and I wasn't sure if there's a hold there. But they're going to Brusco's still moving, gets it right in the middle of the field, and Germani's waiting there at the 40-yard line.
Well, this is not, as a coach, what you want to see. You don't want to see your quarterback scrambling, and you don't want to see him stop and throw back across the middle. But Brusco gets away with it because Germani's uncovered, and they make a nice gain. Brusco's scrambling abilities, a big load to take down. He's going to scramble clear across the field near side, then change direction and go to the far side. It's at the very end when he stops and elects to throw across the middle. That's the play that could be dangerous.
Second down and 10 from the 40. Bray in motion to the near side. Here's Brusco. He throws it as he gets hit. That one's incomplete. Had someone right on his shoelace, and that was Himmelreich.
It's a good job by this Whitehall defense. They're only bringing about 4 on the pass rush, and they're dropping everybody back, and it's really giving Brusco a hard time as far as finding the open receivers. Whitehall's defense doing a good job on the Hirsch brothers. But what that does, if you drop those many guys back and you can still get this pass rush, see them break down the offensive line, it forces Brusco. You can see he wasn't able to step up and fire. Didn't have a good passing lane. They got a hold of his ankle, and that's why he throws it short.
1:28 left on the clock. Third down and 5. Lined up split. One to the far side. Here comes a rush by Whitehall. Brusco goes to the sideline, has Hirsch, and a great grab, and he brings it down for the first down inside the 15, down to about the 12-yard line. Nice pickup there by Hirsch.
Now, if you're going to bring the blitz, which is what Whitehall does, it's going to keep your secondary one-on-one. Here comes the heat because you got LaHue 10 and Colarusso, the linebackers, coming up, so it leaves Art in the corner, one-on-one and Hirsch. It's the first time that they left him all by himself, and there's Brusco taking advantage of it. He saw the pressure, knew he had his best receiver one-on-one in a corner, took advantage of it. Big pickup for Emmaus. Good job by Brusco and a nice catch by Hirsch.
Give him about 28 on the pickup. Approaching the 1-minute mark, still a timeout for the Green Hornets. Brusco gonna go in front of his blocker, and that's Germani. Gets a lead block in front, gets down and pushes forward, Doug.
Well, nice job by Brusco to allow his blockers, Rutkowski and Germani. You see Germani now signaling for the last timeout. Good job by Brusco to let them do the work. A lot of times guys get excited and they run past their blockers. Rutkowski with the kick out. See how Brusco's letting Germani do his work? Nice little kick out. That additional block allows him to get inside the 5. He overruns that blocker that you see a lot. He maybe gets taken down to 5-yard line. They gain an additional 3 or 4 yards on Brusco letting his men do their work.
Down to about the 7-yard line, Doug. And, you know, you talked about that defensive stop by Emmaus, the opportunity with the timeout. March downfield, a big play to Hirsch for 28 yards. I mean, he went up and grabbed that. We talked about Jimmy Patucci for Whitehall, but Tyler Hirsch making another big reception. Came in with 29. Take a look at the Green Hornets again, and we're finishing up with this. And obviously some big wins there when they had freedom, but you look at that, and you mentioned before, 14-9 loss to Bethlehem Catholic in week 3 of the season. But, you know, going through there, they've had some big wins as well.
Well, when you look at this, I mean, Exeter, and I always talked to Joe Baudelaire about it's going to come down to bonus points from the team Emmaus has beaten. Exeter needs to continue to win. Pleasant Valley, boy, if they could knock off East Stroudsburg South tonight, that helps out Emmaus, obviously. But the games at the end, the sandwich games, Whitehall and Central, the first and the last, those are the ones. Those are tough 3A opponents, as we're seeing tonight. You start with 80 points because they're a class under you. That's what could eventually hurt Emmaus.
Mark it around the 7. They can get a first down, and inching closer inside the 5 down to about the 3. I think it was Germani with the carry, and it was.
Germani carries the ball.
And they'll stop the clock momentarily, Doug, to move the chains.
Good job again. We see a nice block by Shankweiler, number 50, coming off the trap. There's the kick out.
First and Well, Briscoe decides to spike it here, and Doug, maybe a wise decision with 36 seconds.
Well, now what this is going to do, with this much time left, you still have the ability to run the ball, line up and run again. But what I think you're going to see from Joe Baudelaire and his crew with a quarterback like Briscoe that has great legs, the great ability to run and make good decisions on the run and throw. Don't be surprised if you see some pass plays in this situation. Start fresh, 2nd and goal with 36 seconds, a lot of time.
2nd down and goal. Inside 35 to play. Here's Briscoe, looks for the opening, makes the turn, tries to get down and does it. And now it's a matter of the clock's going to roll. And let's see if they go right at it, or Doug, do they spike it again to get one last shot at it?
I think I would think you might want to try to run a play.
Oh, they're going to try to run it here with 17 seconds. No, he spikes it. See, they'll stop the clock to set up one last play, Doug.
Well, the crowd doesn't like it, and you don't want to say you're surprised with that decision, because you would rather run one well-executed play than 2 shaky ones.
Right.
But this is what they're doing when I talked about running. It's the run-pass option for Briscoe. He doesn't see anybody open. They had a tight end lined up, but Whitehall did a good job. And in great closure on Briscoe. Nice little play action. You run the boot to the near side. But you got Harrigal chasing. You got Bowman and LaHue. They do a great job of closing on Briscoe and not allow him to get out of bounds.
Well, they're going to attempt the field goal. And I think they mark it. It's about 19 yards out, Doug. Ball on the 9. So 19-yard field goal attempt here by Drew Reinhardt. Kick is up, and that is good. And they come up with points. 7-3 was your score, and a 19-yard field goal by Drew Reinhardt.
Well, that was what Emmaus needed. People don't like that. They say it's like kissing your sister when you settle for a field goal inside the 5, but you got points up. And remember now, Emmaus will get the ball to start the 3rd quarter, so they're very content with getting that. I don't want to say very content, but they're content. They'll take it. The way their defense plays, they know they're not going to want to allow any more bigger plays. But you can't give up an opportunity right before the half like that to run a bad play, getting hasty and making a poor decision, kick the field goal, get the points, and you've gotten yourself right back in this game.
You mentioned it, you spike it twice, but again, you get a play off there, you may not get the next play, and they were rushing to get down there, and they can go for the 3 points.
No, they had a plan there. When they spiked the ball on 1st down, they told Briscoe, what we're going to do is we're going to run you on that boot, that run pass option. If you don't get in, get up to the line, spike it, and we're going to bring the field goal unit out. It was well executed inside the 5, a well executed under a minute drive. And all that matters is that there's 3 points up on the board instead of the 0 now for Emmaus.
Seven 3-year score. Martinez, Himmelwright back. Drew Reinhardt to kick off. 10 seconds left, opening half. Again, homecoming here at Emmaus. Doug and I have hit every homecoming in every school in the Lehigh Valley. Opportunity to see all the different things going on with all different schools, and that's always nice and really a privilege for us to watch from up here anyway.
One of the things that was tough about last week's homecoming, and remember, this only happens once for the seniors. It happened homecomings one time. But Whitehall, unfortunately, had theirs scheduled a week ago. And
great floats.
Yeah, the floats, they didn't stop. They gave away the homecoming king and queen the next night at the dance, so that didn't stop them. But they brought the floats out. They weren't stopping them.
4 ticks on the clock. Zephyrs are happy with their lead. They'll go in the locker room. They didn't have a lead last week as they lost to Dira. They're riding a 3-game losing streak. 1 half of play is through the books. Whitehall on top of host Emmaus by a score of 7-3. We'll be back after this on 2 Sports.
Fans, if you love dealing with a winning team, head to the leader, Kleckner's in Whitehall and Emmaus, featuring GE washers and dryers, GE dishwashers, GE microwaves, GE ranges, GE refrigerators, plus Plus, Kleckner's features free delivery, backed by their own factory-trained service department. Hurry in for best selection. Make us your last stop and see the savings on new GE appliances at Kleckner's. 2177 MacArthur Road in Whitehall and 575 Chestnut Street, Emmaus.
Let's go get Yakult. You know it's always been the best. Let's go get Yakult for quality that beats the rest. They got cheesesteaks, French fries. The famous Yakult hot dog is known worldwide. Let's go get Yakult. The secret sauce is one of a kind.
Yakult's, an Allentown tradition.
You think about the roads people drive on, how each one is different. Then you build a family of cars that treats them all the same. The 2005 Volvos with electronically controlled all-wheel drive. For confidence on any road.
He doesn't report to a management committee. He doesn't report to a marketing department. He reports to Mary Johnson's arthritis, to Sally Wickstrom's upset stomach, and to Greg Porter's poison oak. He's your family prescription center pharmacist. He lives and works right here in town, so that means he reports to you. Call Family Prescription Center today at 866-0709.
Taking the time to care, Family Prescription Center.
Remember when life was much simpler? It was easy to know who could be trusted to carpet your home.
Today, the choices are overwhelming. Make it simple. Make it Mohawk Color Center.
Celebrating 125 years of Mohawk commitment to floor covering quality, comfort, and style. Now offering selections of carpet made with Anso Crush Resistor 3 nylon.
Mohawk Color Center, where the value of family and an appreciation for the simple beauty of home are woven into everything we do.
Visit R&J Carpet Connection, 922 North 3rd Street in Whitehall.
Go ahead, scream! Halloween weekends are back at Dorney Park. Bigger, better, and scarier than ever. With 2 new haunted houses, ghastly ghouls in the all-new Fright Zone, and plenty of thrill rides to scream for. Kids will love our magical fun house, daytime trick-or-treating, and lots of fun rides. And Camp Spooky. Halloween weekends at Dorney Park. So much fun it's scary. Every Saturday, Sunday, and the last 3 Friday nights in October.
They say that nothing lasts forever, but durable, long-lasting Rainer garage doors from ABE Doors and Windows put this cliche to the test. They're made from the highest quality materials and are actually guaranteed to last as long as you own your home. In fact, the only thing as reliable as Rainer is the company who installs it. To find out more about worry-free Rainer garage doors, call the ABE Doors and Windows man in Allentown, because quality doesn't cost, it pays.
Welcome back. There is your halftime score. The Zephyrs on top of the Green Hornets 7-3. Tonight's halftime show is brought to you by Lanta, Nazareth Music Center, and R&J Carpet Connection, which is located on North 3rd Street in Whitehall. For our halftime entertainment tonight, we will be thrilled to sit back and watch the Emmaus Green Hornet Marching Band.
Good job, you guys.
Allentown Business School means absolute success with degrees in medical, technology, business, design, and legal studies. You get the right skills from specialized training that can put you on the road to success in as little as 18 months.
I graduated in September. By October, I was already working. 18 months, you're in, you're out, and you're on your way into the workforce.
When I came here and graduated in 18 months, this was probably the best thing that I've ever done.
Call ABS today and discover absolute success tomorrow.
Hey, football football fans. If you love dealing with a winning team, head to the leader, Kleckner's in Whitehall and Emmaus, featuring GE washers and dryers, GE dishwashers, GE microwaves, GE ranges, GE refrigerators. Plus, Kleckner's features free delivery, backed by their own factory-trained service department. Hurry in for best selection. Make us your last stop and see the savings on new GE appliances at Kleckner's, 2177 MacArthur Road in Whitehall and 575 Chestnut Street in Emmaus.
Go ahead, scream! Halloween weekends are back at Dorney Park. Bigger, better, and scarier than ever, with 2 new haunted houses, ghastly ghouls in the all-new Fright Zone, and plenty of thrill rides to scream for. Kids will love our magical funhouse, daytime trick-or-treating, and lots of fun rides, and Camp Spooky. Halloween weekends at Dorney Park. So much fun, it's scary. Every Saturday, Sunday, and the last 3 Friday nights in October.
Everything is still the same at ABE Car Care Centers. Cliff Quinn Sr. and Jim Coombe may have retired, but they're still around making sure things are right. Same quality workmanship, same superior service. For brakes, mufflers, tune-ups, and inspections, ABE Car Care Center does it all.
The original is always the best. Cliff Quinn Jr. and his crew are no dumb bunnies. These guys are really good.
New management, but everything is still the same. Car Care Plus, only at ABE Car Care Centers.
I'm Mike Mittman, inviting you to join me Sunday, October 31st, the 9th annual St. Anthony's All-Star Sports Award Testimonial Roast. And what a great evening it's going to be as we honor John and Andy Dobb, champ. What a night it's going to be.
We're going to have a great night, Mike, and no more excuses. We got 2 guys here that can get me the car. What about the car you promised?
It's coming.
Lehigh Valley Honda is celebrating 20 years of serving the Lehigh Valley with simply the best in sales and service. Choose from over 60 Accords. For example, drive home a 2004 Accord LX sedan nicely equipped for just $18,995. Choose from over 80 Civics with huge savings. For example, drive home a 2004 Civic LX sedan nicely equipped for just $15,295. Come visit Lehigh Valley Honda on the Lehigh Street Auto Mall and see why we're simply the best.
Welcome back to Emmaus High School. Al DeCarlo alongside Doug Heater. It's 7-3 as we get ready to start of quarter number 3 in this one. And Doug, it's been everything we expected without question. Tonight's game brought to you by Atlanta Metro, new express bus, Silver Line Express to work. Atlanta Metro, making it easy. 610-776-RIDE. 7-3 is your score in this one, Doug. And the thing is, you know, when you look at the statistics and you look at the numbers, and they're pretty much, I don't know about saying the story. When it's 7-3, not that much is going on. But let's take a look at the first half highlights first, and we'll begin with the Zephyrs.
Take a look at the Whitehall highlights, and this has been a dogfight. First, we're going to take a look at Mike Colarusso, Himmelwright and Colarusso coming in on a big Whitehall sack. Good defense all game. Here is Martinez. We talked about that quick hitter from the fullback trap that was effective last week. Good run by Martinez. Another sack. This time Greg Harrigal is going to come in. This is one we talked about where he just laid in and fell into that sack. And this is the big play. Ganal to Martinez, sets it up. There's a little tip pass. Martinez, good concentration, and then it sets up this next one. This is the play that put Whitehall in position. You can see Ganal escaping Reese twice, and then just throwing that Hail Mary down the field. Nate Close, great job of taking it away. And here's your Whitehall touchdown. Ganal from a yard away gave the Zephyrs a 7-0 lead. Here's the Brusco interception from the free safety position, the first turnover of the game. It sets up Emmaus with good field position. Cesar Natali with a sack defensively for the Green Hornets. Natali, number 55, he'll come in. Brian Reese, we've been talking about him a lot. He's been all over the place. There's one of his sacks tonight. Here's a big hit by Waterhouse on the Emmaus return. We saw Waterhouse, number 20. The fumble that Emmaus gets back comes up here. This could have been a big turnaround. They get it back from Bowman and LaHue. Tyler Hirsch, the big offensive play of the game with Artem on the coverage coming from Brusco, sets up this play. This is a second down play. Brusco on the boot. Good job by Whitehall to stretch this one out. They spike the ball on third down, and it sets up the lone Green Hornet points of the night. Drew Reinhardt from about 19 yards out, and that's where we stand at 7-3.
Also like a score in this one as we get ready for the start of quarter number 3, and take a look at our halftime statistics for tonight. Keith Groller of the Morning Call helping us out with those statistics, and we'll get to Keith Groller in a second. He's all decked up in his St. Louis Cardinals outfit. And I know, Doug, you're a Minnesota Vikings fan. You're one of those bandwagon fans when going in. Not Keith Groller. He's been a fan of the St. Louis Cardinals since he was been 3 years old, and I saw Keith talking smack to some of these Boston Red Sox fans out here. Take a look at our halftime stats. That was you doing that, by the way.
But here's our first, our halftime stats. First downs, 4 for Whitehall, 7 for Emmaus. There's your passing numbers, 4 of 9 for Ganal with the interception, 5 of 13 for Brusco. 86 yards passing, 73 for the Zephyrs. Rushing yards down a little bit, I think, for Emmaus. 36. They'd like to pick that up a little bit. 32 for Whitehall. 101 total yards to 214 for Emmaus.
Check that. It's 119. Yeah, 119 for Emmaus on total yards. 119 for those yards. Take a look at Joe Bott.
I think if you're the Zephyrs defensively, I think you got to be pretty happy with what you've done with Germani. And now have to see if it continues in the third quarter, because this is Emmaus's game. Staying in games, hanging around, playing their style, field position, just wearing you down. And it'll be interesting to see the first offensive possession, because remember, Emmaus deferred. They won the toss, they deferred, and they're going to take the ball to start the third. They got some momentum, big defensive stop, and then a drive that ended up being the 3 points on the field goal.
Some individual numbers: Martinez 3 rushes, 25 yards. Himmelwright 4 rushes, 16 yards. Germani 9 rushes, 32 yards, and Tyler Hirsch 2 catches for 63 yards. Of course, the big catch, the 28-yard reception that he had from Brusco.
Weren't you the one talking smack with the Red Sox people?
No. I actually,
You almost didn't go on tonight.
Well, that's different. That's different, Being a Yankee fan, you got, cameraman there wearing Boston Red Sox hats. I think that's illegal. And, the curse will continue.
Yeah, what's funny about that is they still got a World Series to win yet.
Exactly.
They haven't,
Exactly. It's still the curse. People think they beat the Yankees, and it's not there. But let's get back to football anyway in 1918. Okay. We are underway, and Emmaus will get great field position, Doug, as they go to the ground. Maybe trying to see if they can get something going there for Whitehall.
Well, Dan Skorsky, number 48, does a good job of getting on that one. You've seen both teams now on kickoffs try to pull something over on the returners, running that squib kick or the line drive kick in between. But what it does, if you field it, look at what Emmaus starts at their own 48-yard line, really right on the 49.
Now, Doug, indeed, they'll start from the 49, their first possession. Brusco under center. And they go to the ground. And then pick up across the 50 down to about the 46-yard line. One of the things, Mrs. Brusco came up here earlier, gave us a couple waters, and gave us some Planters sweet and crunchy peanuts. And Doug, we're almost finished.
We is a loose term for that one.
I'm sorry.
But you told me they were coming. Mrs. Brusco, she brought them up.
Mrs. Brusco's been bringing us certain things since me and Dan Morocco's been doing basketball, and you're just, for our good work, me and Dan, you're getting, you're eating properly. So we thank Mrs. Brusco for keeping us fed up here in the box. Second down and 6 after the 4-yard pickup by Germani. 11:21 on the clock, third quarter. Here's Brusco. Here comes Himmelwright. He gets hit as he throws, and that one incomplete, as Kyle Himmelwright came from the corner and came flying through.
You can see Colarusso, 42, LaHue, number 10. They're coming up showing blitz. Again, trying to confuse the quarterback, Brusco, but they bring Himmelwright from the outside. Brusco trying to find a passing lane. They get him out of the pocket, and Himmelwright makes the hit late, but he throws it. That's a tough throw on the run when you're a righty. Throwing across your body like that to Hirsch, trying to get Tyler Hirsch open in the flat. But a good job by Whitehall to change looks defensively, trying to confuse Brusco.
Third down and 6 from the 47 of Whitehall. Great field position, but they got to convert here. Third play of the drive. Briscoe's going to off running, has some running room as Brusco barrels through and gets the first down and thinks he's still going. They'll move the chains. A nice pickup by Mike Briscoe inside the 35-yard line.
This is something that we've seen Emmaus start to do now as this game progresses. But again, it's because of the over-aggressiveness or the aggressiveness of the Zephyr defensive line. Briscoe on that draw, and he's going to take it up the middle. Now, this is something that Whitehall hasn't really had to account for. Briscoe, you know what? He might have been right. I don't know if the knee came down.
I'm not sure
he
about
spun
that.
Around.
He spun around and he looked like he could have kept on going. Inside 11 to play. He had the right idea, but they said no. Here's Briscoe, hands this one off. And Germani gets taken down on the play immediately as he picks up the ball by Anthony Pissarro.
All right, we're going to take a look again. This is from the ground. Now, Briscoe kept running. He felt that he wasn't down. Now, the ball in his hand are down. His knee has not made contact at all. We're going to take a look from up
at it
top.
one more time. Briscoe looked like he kept himself up the whole time. His elbow may have touched, but
well, the elbow and the hand, it's the knee.
Right,
and if the ball touches the ground without any flesh or bone underneath it,
like
it's a dead ball.
His left knee was on the back of the defensive player. And, you know, he was could have kept on going. That's what he was thinking. Second down and 10. Hirsch in motion has a couple big catches so far tonight. Germani gets to about the 30. Doug, how important was, no matter what, you know, you're down to the 2-yard line. You know, you had to spike the ball a couple times, but just getting on the scoreboard in a defensive struggle, offensive struggle.
Right, and Briscoe running that offense in that situation under control, getting up to the line, getting the players in position, allowing them to get set without getting a penalty, because like I said earlier, that was a planned play to spike the ball on third and then get the kick in, or get the field goal unit in. So a good job by this unit just to get those points in. Here they go again, moving down the field.
Third down and 7 from the 30. Briscoe trips far side of the field. And here comes the rush. They now hold back. Briscoe, and here they come after him again. He's going to have to get rid of it. Somehow he gets rid of 4 defenders. And if he can get it, it's just too much, Doug. As he was looking downfield, and little by little, there was not going to be that many Whitehall defenders down there, but finally comes down. I mean, he is just a target here.
Right here, he's looking for her. She's going to miss one there. There's another one. There's 2. Good job of scrambling around.
3, 4, 5.
The 5th one, and it ends up being close at the end. But they tried to get Hirsch one-on-one. He was covered for a moment, then got open. But by the time Briscoe saw him, it's when he started to scramble around.
4th down. I have to punt the ball away. And again, it'll be Travis Artem awaiting this punt by Briscoe. And he gets a solid roll approaching the 12-yard line. 13-yard line or so, and that's where Whitehall will take over. Now, you could look at that possession as any way you want. I mean, Whitehall's defense has definitely stepped up. They got the ball at the 48-yard line to start, and they didn't go much.
That's exactly right. But now they've put themselves back inside the 20-yard line. If Emmaus is going to be content to bang heads with you for a while and play some field position, you're playing right into their game right now. As key as that offensive drive was for Emmaus, it's the same here for Whitehall, trying to establish something and battle that field position back in your favor.
They'll start from about the 13-yard line, and this time they'll start on the ground. It seems like it's been an eternity since we've seen the Whitehall offense out there, because the last 3.5 minutes, it was Emmaus's team on the field. Then we had the long halftime because of homecoming. Now we finally see them come back out.
And there's a nice gain on 1st down by Himmelreich. The success of this offense is based on their success on 1st down. It sets up a little bit more of an option on 2nd and 3rd down. You've got the defense guessing now as whether you're going to see a run or a pass.
On the ground again, here's Himmelreich. Tries to come to the outside, but he is got some defenders moving in his direction. He's taken down and bring up a 3rd down.
Well, Briscoe's going to come in and make the tackle. Good job of coming down that line of scrimmage. And he's the free safety. He's going to come up and contain against that run. Going to pinch up on the run. Himmelreich trying to run the sweep. Nowhere to go up inside. Morrissey fills the hole. Reese fills the hole. There's Briscoe coming in. Hirsch is going to get a late hit on it, but Himmelreich almost loses the handle of that football.
Inside, approaching the 7-minute mark of the 3rd quarter, 3rd down and 2. For Ganal, receivers split, go back to the ground, and here's Himmelreich barrels through and gets across the 25 up to about the 27-yard line, and we'll move the chains.
Himmelreich runs the ball, got right on his ass.
Good job of Himmelwright in this offensive line. Running the dive, running it to the left, running it to the right, trying to move it around. This is an area of the field where Whitehall doesn't want to commit the big turnover to allow Emmaus back in the game, something that they did a couple weeks ago, something that they did last week. That big play that allows your defense to make a big play. They want to keep moving that ball, being consistent, and getting out of harm's way.
7:37 on the clock and all the pass. Here comes Reese chasing after him. Looks across and just throws it down into the direction of Himmelwright. Incomplete.
Well, we've been talking about how effective Brian Reese has been in this game. And again, Martinez, 23, is left to block a 270-pound defensive end. And it's just not going to happen. Ganal running for his life does a good job getting out of the tackle box outside the hash marks, throws it away, and actually goes toward Himmelwright. Reese looking to maybe go to Hofstra to continue his football career. Reese, of course, a state medalist at the heavyweight division in wrestling, and probably the best returning 275-pounder in the state this year. So he may look to do a couple things out at Hofstra if that's where he elects to go.
Second down and 10, trips to the far side for the Zets. Ganal instead looks this way, gets hit, has close, and again moves the chains up across the 40-yard line. Nice catch by Glos. Good job of Ganal to hang in there and knew he was going to get taken down.
Exactly. Watch. Now, Reese takes two blockers. That allows Morrissey to come in off the far side and also Martignetti on the near side. Great job to hang in, take the hit, and deliver to Glos. Good job by Ganal and Whitehall to get that job done.
Well, he gets to the 40-yard line. Whitehall on top, 7-3. On a 1-yard quarterback sneak by Mike Ganal at the 5:56 mark of the first half. With 10 seconds left, a 19-yard field goal by Drew Reinhardt made it 7-3, and that's where we stand here. Here's Himmelwright, finds the hole, the official in front, and gets about 15 on the pickup by Himmelwright as the officials getting involved in this one as well. You're Himmelwright, you got to just keep on going forward.
Yeah,
I think you stop and say, excuse me, then continue to go.
I'm not sure if he said the words, excuse me, but you can see him clearing the umpire out of the way. Actually helps a little bit, shields Brusco from coming in. But a nice drive here by Whitehall and a great run on that dive with Himmelwright. Now their offensive line, the Zephyr offensive line, is really starting to fire off the ball.
15-yard pickup from the 45. Again, now inside the 40 down to the 37. They're finding some opening, like you said, Doug, in the middle part of that field. And a mark at about the 39.
Himmelwright picks up 6 yards.
Running to the right. Good job by that offensive line. Smock, 78, doing his job on the right side. But very effective plays on first down. There's 6 yards that time.
Doug, just one penalty in this contest, and that was a 5-yard penalty to Whitehall in the first half. Here's Himmelwright. Again, close to moving that chain again. I think they have it there.
You know, that penalty was on special teams, too, so I think you're right. I think they do have it. They're close. This is a great, they marked it off. This is a great job by this offense. We talk about how the Emmaus offense is big and strong, and Deerups last week. Here's Whitehall being challenged. They're blowing this defensive line off the football, doing a good job of blocking, execute their blocks. It's allowing Himmelwright to really find a lot of open lane. Now you see they've got Matt Klein in the backfield, 64 now.
Now they're staying with Himmelwright again on the carry. Not much there in that pickup as they started from about the 35, maybe get down to about the 32.5.
One of the things that Bob Penny did talk about was how that you would see a lot of different things for them tonight. They were going to throw everything that they possibly had at Emmaus, and this is a different look. Klein, 64, trotting back off. They wanted to get a little bit extra beef in the backfield because Martinez came back in. But what that play did, 3 yards on first down, trying to wear down this defense, keep the ball out of Brusco in the offense's hands.
I mentioned we haven't seen Whitehall's offense there for a while.
Oh, yeah.
Inside 4 to play. Second down and 7 from about the 31-yard line for Ganal and company. Here's Ganal. Looks, throws. He's got Martinez. Martinez at about the 30-yard line. So short pickup there, and it'll bring up about 3rd down and 6.
The play action, trying to hold the linebackers. It holds Reese for a while. There's Martinez, not going to block him this time. Just going to get underneath the linebacker. In this case, it's Rutkowski. That's a nice conservative game. Whitehall, the dink and dank, right? Well, they're running, they're passing, they're safe, high percentage pass plays when they're putting the ball up in the air. They're not forcing it down the field. The Whitehall coaching staff wasn't happy with how late the game clock started before that other snap. They want them to keep chewing off time and time and time as this drive goes.
And it's exactly what's happening right now. It's 3:04 on the clock. Now Himmelwright in motion. They'll go to Martinez. Martinez doesn't get much there on that carry.
Martinez.
Doug needed, I think, about 4 or so. That'll bring up a 4th down.
Brian Reese makes the play. What Whitehall had done early on this drive was stay away from number 70. They had lined him up on the right side of the defense, so Whitehall would run to the near side away from him. Now Emmaus is starting to move him around. Big 4th down play for the Zephyrs. All this work starting from the 12-yard line goes for naught. Yeah, you took a lot of time off the clock, but you'd like to take a little bit more.
Fourth down and 2. Himmelwright needs 2 and will get the 1st down as he gets inside the 25 to about the 24-yard line. And they needed right at the 25 or so, and they should move this chains here.
You want to match up strength and strength. You run a trap and you bring Matt Klein, 64. See the job he does there on Rutkowski, 32. The kick out block, Rutkowski's got contained. He fills that hole. But with Klein in the backfield and Harrigal, I believe it was on the trap, they might have gotten enough.
Doug, they marked it right at the 25. It looked like he was inside the 25 when he got the ball, so let's see what they decide to give him here.
He's short.
Yeah, he's short. The reason he's short, I mean, you look at the last play, you see where they marked it, and it was all in the mark.
It wasn't it didn't look like to be a favorable Whitehall spot, that's for sure.
Now the 4th down conversion. Tonight's game brought to you in part by ABE Doors and Windows, Allentown Business School, Apgar Oil, Kleckner & Sons Appliances, Kraus Dodge, Atlanta Metro, Nazareth Music Center, R&J Carb Connection, and Yakos. We thank all our sponsors for tonight's Friday Night Football on 2 Sports. So instead of converting and moving the chains to 213, it's Emmaus that gets the ball back. 1st down and 10 from their own 25-yard line, Doug. Briscoe hands this one off, and there's number 22. Germani breaks to the outside, has been touching the beat, now cuts across, and still moves up all the way up to about the 40-yard line. Huge run, biggest run of the day, of the night for Germani, as he goes for about 35 yards.
Well, the thing that Emmaus is going to do, Germani's not a slasher, but this is what you're going to do. You're going to wear this team down by running those dives, and eventually he's going to break one. And here is his big play of this game, a big long run for Emmaus. They're not going to go high risk and force the ball down the field. They're going to stay with their bread and butter, and it's going to be Germani now in the 2nd half.
35-yard pickup inside 2 to play. Here's Germani again. And again, the 4th down and 2 conversion, no conversion made for Whitehall, and now Emmaus on the big run by Germani earlier. They're in business, Doug. And you mentioned taking the clock down, and that's exactly what Whitehall did. They did everything but put some points in the end zone.
Yep. And now the defense is going to be called upon again. Did a good job to start the 3rd quarter by holding Emmaus out. That drive started at the Emmaus 48, and they only gained about a 1st down. Moved the chains just once, but they've got to do it again.
1:12 on the clock. 2nd down and 6. Germani keeps on his feet inside the 30. Chains will move down to about the 29.
2 straight plays after the big run. They bring Rutkowski in motion. He's going to be your lead blocker. Trying to deceive the defense a little bit by lining up an offset eye, strong right, and then they bring Rutkowski in motion left. And with that head of steam in motion, he's able to deliver a great block and another good run for Emmaus and Germani.
Inside 1 to play in quarter number 3, 7-3. Emmaus down, but they're moving downfield inside the 30. Back to the ground. Germani finds the opening in the middle, continues to push forward, and he's still on his feet.
He never went down.
I don't even know he has a ball.
He lost it when they blew it dead, but he never went down. Good job. This has been all Germani on this drive. Credit the offensive line. Credit Rutkowski. Watch him go. The legs never stop moving. They're still going. They're going to blow the play dead just about there, and that's when they strip the ball out. Germani not to be denied. A lot of fight left in this Green Hornet offense, that's for sure.
Now, time will likely run out in the third quarter, and there is the horn. We're through 3 quarters of play for Emmaus High School. Emmaus moving the ball downfield, but they're down 7-3. We'll be back right after this.
Lehigh Valley Honda is celebrating 20 years of serving the Lehigh Valley with simply the best in sales and service. Choose from over 60 Accords. For example, drive home a 2004 Accord LX sedan nicely equipped for just $18,995. Choose from over 80 Civics with huge savings. For example, drive home a 2004 Civic LX sedan nicely equipped for just $15,295. Come visit Lehigh Valley Honda on the Lehigh Street Auto Mall and see why we're simply the best.
Back at Emmaus High School, 7-3 your score. Whitehall on top in this one. Alvin Carlo and the legendary Doug Eater with us for the broadcast. Once again, Friday Night Football on 2 Sports. Hope you're enjoying our coverage. And Doug, it's hard to believe, though, we mentioned this before, but it's hard to believe that the regular season is slowly coming to an end, with only 3 weeks left in the season.
But these games are so important now as we're here in week 7.
Ball to 22, second down and 3. First play, fourth quarter, Briscoe under center. And Briscoe is going to take it himself. He'll get first down inside the 20. And Doug, he gets down to 17. They'll move the chains once again.
Well, you wonder if that wasn't something that Joe Baudelaire mentioned in his pregame, that what an opportunity is for these players to be playing in a meaningful ball game for this school in week 7. Take advantage of that opportunity. They need to make this happen now in the fourth quarter. They've put themselves in position to take the lead or get to within 1. Take advantage of this opportunity, be successful, and keep moving on.
About the 17.5 yard line. Briscoe under center. In motion is Hurst. They'll stay on the ground. It's been Germani through the middle. Germani busts through. Another good run there by Germani inside the 10 down to the 9 yard line. He's right about 100.
We talk about how he is not your typical fullback or typical tailback. Watch the slide step move when he hits the hole. He's going to take this originally off tackle, going to slide step back and find a gap. Great one. Watch him, watch a little shuffle step right there, and then finds an opening behind Rutkowski, and then takes it into the secondary. You've seen now on this drive how this offensive unit is establishing the line of scrimmage, controlling that line.
11:08 and counting from the 8 yard line. They'll stay back with 22 again. Germani spins through, powers down, and gets down to about the 3.
Now, when we talk to Joe Baudelaire, and fans of this school, Emmaus, even before, know this is what they get from their offense. They're not going to do anything flashy. They're going to run a trap play with Shankweiler again. But see, Germani, I talk about letting his linemen do their work. Nobody touched him. He just got behind the big green backs and moved them forward, and they got him in position, in close, inside the 3 yard line.
Emmaus has been in this position earlier in the last 10 seconds of the first half. They had to spike it down twice and then get a field goal by Drew Reinhardt, and that's why it's 7-3. They'll try it here again, and they'll go to the ground. Germani, touchdown. Emmaus is taking the lead. Germani has tied a school record with his 34th career touchdown.
And that whole drive was nothing but 22. All Germani on that drive. Credit him, Rutkowski, and the offensive line for doing a great job. Does this team panic? This is what they've become used to this season. Every one of their games has been tight. Even the loss to Becca, they were in it.
point after is followed by Reinhardt. It is good, and it's 10-7 in favor of the home team, Emmaus. Downtown Mazda Volvo, or Brown Dobb Mazda Volvo. The Lehigh Valley Volvo dealers sponsor the point after, and a big point after it is, Doug, because it keeps it a full touchdown.
10-7, and a great job. Whitehall's defensive coaches and that line, they got to figure out how to stop the big green up front. That was a very impressive drive, all on the ground and all 22. Take a look at the touchdown from the ground. Germani, now he just goes behind Reese, and also 55, that's Natali. Look at the job that they do. Look at that line just moving the white jerseys off the football. Anywhere you want to go on that play. Very impressive drive by this Green Hornet offense. Now the defense has got to step it up. If you're Whitehall, you've had a lead for quite a while here, about middle of the second quarter. Your offense now is going to be called upon to start moving the ball. You can't be conservative. They tried to run the clock down. They tried to use their power attack, and it worked up until that fourth down stop. Now you've got to put some points back on the board.
103 yards now for Germani on the ground. And Doug, he had the big 35-yard run earlier. And finally that's picked up by Martinez, his own 20-yard line. And he gets taken down at about the 27-yard line. But 103 yards, Doug. He's got his 34th career touchdown. We'll make it 109 as Keith Grove from the Morning Call helping us out with some statistics tonight. Doug, 109 yards, 34 career touchdowns, and obviously went over 1,000 tonight as well with the first play from scrimmage.
And it's typical of the way this season has been for this group. And I remember saying this at halftime when we saw the 36 yards rushing that's not something Emmaus was going to be pleased with. They've changed that here in the third and early into this fourth quarter.
9 carries for 32 yards in the first half, 77 yards in this second half of play for Germani. And Doug, now they have plenty of time in the clock, dig deep. Himmelwright was really moving the ball effectively downfield. They could have moved the chains in the last possession, and it just was, what, a hair short.
Himmelwright to the right side. Morrissey's going to come in, Rakowski's going to come in, but you're absolutely right, Al. They were real effective with Himmelwright running that quick dive play to the right. They did it again. Nice gain on first down. Sets up a 2nd and 3.
2nd down and 3 from the 35. Ginal to throw. Looks across, and that's incomplete. Was looking in the direction of Tyler Williams. In and out of his hands. He'll catch that ball 9 out of 10 times without question. 16 receptions coming into the game.
And it's going to set up a big 3rd down conversion. Whitehall wanting to throw on 2nd down. When you get 7 yards on first, the defense starts to think, what are we going to see now? Are we going to see a run, or are we going to see a pass? So Whitehall tries to take advantage of that by running that quick slant. Don't be surprised if they try that again. But now it sets up a very, very tough 3rd down conversion.
3rd down and 3. Crowd excited here at Emmaus, and there's Ginal steps back, throws, has the completion. And this time I think he got Williams, and he does for the first down.
You've got to like the decision there by Bob Haney, the offensive coaches, to go back to Williams. Al, you said it. He's made some great catches this year. You go back to a similar pattern. You don't run the slant, you run a hook, a button hook, and a comeback, and there he gets it. Runs enough for the first down, comes back. You got the secondary off him a little bit. Good decision to go back to Williams, and a nice play. Williams making the catch that time.
9:07 on the clock. They'll go back to the ground and hit him right, and this time not much there. Actually, he moves through and gets a couple more, Doug. It looked like he had nothing, and gained maybe 3.5.
He does a good job, so does his line, to fall forward, trying to find something. It wasn't the quick hitter, though. Much better job defensively by Emmaus to stand him up, and a good individual effort by Himmelwright to find an opening and just lunge forward for the additional maybe 1 or 2 yards.
8:45 on the clock. Emmaus found themselves down at the half, 7-3. Came down in the start of the fourth quarter, and there's Ginal as he throws that one. That's about a yard short of the first down. But a nice completion against the far side of the field, Doug, and that's been happening a couple times, and I believe that's Close. Had a couple catches tonight.
Quick drop, 5 steps and fire. Timing pattern. Come back. There's Glose. Just a little bit short of the first down marker, but a nice gain for Whitehall. The short drop is to take away the pass rush for Emmaus, and it's to run a little bit more high percentage pass play, and it works.
Doug 3rd and 1 this time, 4th and 2 last time when they did not convert. Let's see what they do here. Here's Himmelreich. Gets outside and still doesn't have the first down. Now he does, and Himmelreich gets down to about the 40-yard line.
Thought Whitehall was going to get caught there. I thought maybe you'd see Ganal on the sneak. But a good job by Himmelreich to find something. Watch this one coming at you from the ground. Klein tries to be the lead blocker, but there's nowhere to go. And a good decision by Himmelreich to bounce this outside. He knows he's got great speed. Right there, he's able to outrun DeBellis, number 33, and get just enough to move the chains again.
7-42 and counting. And here's Himmelreich. He's going nowhere as he gets taken down and gets right at about the line of scrimmage. A couple players in there, including Nick Martinetti.
Slowed up by Martinetti.
Martinetti's had a couple stops so far tonight.
We've seen number 4 come up good on the run. He does another job. This time they run a similar play to Himmelreich, but to the right side of the offense. And Martinetti is in there to make the play. That's a big stop on first down. Puts you in 2nd down and 10, a position Whitehall does not want to be in.
2nd down and 9. Martinez bounces off one defender and still goes maybe for a couple. But again, you're now in a 3rd down situation.
Once again, it was Brian Reese to slow things up in the backfield. But when you've put yourself in that 2nd and 10 without a good play on first down, now look what you've got. You've got a nice gain on 2nd, it's 3 yards, but it sets up a 3rd and 7. Very tough play, almost a pure passing play. If you're the defense, you're going to probably bring a little bit of heat on Ganal, trying to keep him in the pocket, knowing that they're going to have to throw to get this first down.
Jimmy Patuchny. They haven't gotten to him that much tonight. Let's see if he's the receiver that they look at. They don't. They go the other way. That one's almost intercepted. And instead, it's a completion to Glos, and then they actually fumble the ball away, and look where it's marked.
Well, it's marked
all the way
at,
back.
near, or behind. Good job by the offensive line to give Ganal enough time to throw. He's going to drop back and make the completion eventually. Glos is going to make the catch. It was Martinetti that had his hands on it, but there's where he fumbles it. Now, before the fumble, he's close.
Yeah.
In fact, they got a nice spot. Whitehall did. At the spots where the ball went out of bounds. It didn't go all the way back to the original line of scrimmage. Actually, it is right around the original line of scrimmage, but he's close if he holds on to that ball. But you can see the Green Hornet defense swarm and try to knock it out of there.
4th and 7 from the 37 for the Zephyrs. 6:12 on the clock. Here's Ganal. Here comes the rush. Ganal was thinking of getting rid of it, but he had no chance. He went down as there came the pressure. And again, there's number 70, big Brian Reese.
They line Reese up over the football as a defensive tackle, and they're having trouble blocking him. He's going to come in and bust this play up from the get-go. There's nowhere for Ganal to go because of the pressure up the middle from the tackle. This time it's Reese. They lined him up inside the last 2 plays, and he's able to stop that one. That's a big stop for Emmaus. Now, if you're the Zephyrs, is the game over? Well, hey, there's a lot of time left, but with what Emmaus has been able to do with the ground game, they've got to stop them quick.
Yep, the ground game has worked. We mentioned Germani has 77 yards in this quarter, in the second half, has done a good job, and that's the way they'll go in that direction. And getting up to midfield.
And you can see Himmelreich in the ends now. Number 7, Himmelreich, the end starting to pinch in. Watch the defensive ends pinch in. Here's Himmelreich pinching in. He wants to take away the corner. He wants to keep Germani in. If not, maybe make a big tackle in the backfield. Have to see if Emmaus tries to take advantage of that over pursuit. The ends pinching a little bit, because you know this Zephyr defense is looking for them to keep it on the ground. They're going to start trying to strip the ball and start trying to come up and contain against the run.
Briscoe taking his time, 2nd down and 6, and Doug Weir in a position maybe 15 minutes ago as Germani goes forward, where it was Whitehall taking the time off the clock, and now it's the other way around.
Absolutely right. And you're really playing into the hands of this team, this Emmaus team, of playing this style. Nice gain on 1st, nice gain on 2nd. crucial third down pickup here, but you're right. What the difference was, Emmaus was able to do that and put points on the board. Whitehall wanted to burn it, and then eventually get points up, but it was one big fourth down stop that held them a little bit short.
A clean play game, just one penalty the whole entire night. That was on special teams. Third down and 2, and there's a first down. Chains will move. Clock will stop as the chains move.
Going to pinch the ends again, Himmelwright, but it opens up the middle. Nice job by Rutkowski to make that block. 32. You can see Kyle Russo fill the opening, number 42, but not before Germani moves the chains again. You know, now if you're Brusco, you're going to take your time, probably look at the back judge for the hand to go up.
4:23 and counting. Tyler Hirsch in motion. He'll stay on the ground, and it's been more effective. And there goes Germani again, and he's still moving his feet inside the 35. Maybe got out to the 34-yard line again, Doug. It shows how strong of a player he is. Never went down once again, and he gets the applause from the crowd.
Germani's only listed at 184. We're going to see Whitehall pinch the ends. Watch Himmelwright come in. So what do? You overrun him. You overrun him to the outside where he was. I told you they were going to take advantage of that, and they did. But watch this effort at the end. There's Himmelwright going outside, number 7. So you run up the middle. You run inside of him. And watch Germani. Never stops moving, and they still haven't tackled him on that play.
Germani actually crushed his own player, Chris Bray, who's out in front trying to block. Second down and 2. And it's Brusco. And there goes Brusco off to the races, and he may have just closed the door shut with the touchdown. Mike Brusco goes in for the big touchdown. And again, getting through that middle, we see Germani not stop through, and there he goes in. And he bounces off a defender and cruises in about 35 yards for the score.
There's something we've seen from about the middle of the second quarter till now was number 5 running the football. And we saw him run on a short dive. I don't think he expected that to go for a score, but his leg strength, his power, and the way this offensive line is playing, why not?
The point after is up and is good. And Whitehall again finds themselves in a huge hole. They're down 17-7. Point after brought to you there by Allentown Mazda Volvo, Brown Dove Volvo as well. Lehigh Valley Volvo dealers at point after.
Well, why not run the quarterback sneak on second down and short to see what big number 5 can do and what this offensive line has been doing. Here's from the ground, just trying to get a yard, but watch his never give up. Nobody's got him. They think they've got him in the hole, and he just powers through. We saw Brusco almost get away with one earlier or stay heads up, but they marked him down. Here it is. Look at that pursuit. Look at that. There's Reese moving guys out of the way. Great fire off the football. And then Brusco with a lot of power. He's 6'3", 210, and he's able to push those guys out of the way. And he gets himself in the end zone.
Well, Emmaus started off slow. And Doug, you heard a little bit from the crowd maybe in that field goal opportunity, but just getting the points, going into the locker room, knowing that you wanted to get off the schneid there, and that's exactly what they did. Came back and got the ball to start the second half. See Martinez. We've seen this before where Whitehall has some big return players. See if they can do something with it. Martinez goes side to side, not up the field. And now Whitehall with the 3 timeouts, just 3:18 on the clock, and they're in a huge, huge hole here. And we're going to see Ganal looking downfield. We know he has the arm to throw it. We'll see what he can do from here.
And really the challenge is going to be to this offensive line if they can keep the pressure off of Ganal. You know he's got to sit back and he's going to have to throw the football.